It's not across party levels. It's for the people of Zambia to be free. We fought for freedom. But if it is the freedom we fought for, I would have not gone to prison in 1960. Thank you very much.
Are we one Africa? Are we one world? Are we one Africa? Are we one country? Is your nation in Africa? We talk about peace and love. We talk about democracy. But this is not happening in Africa. Where is the love among us? Where is our peace and joy we fought for? Is this what you call freedom? Let's put Africa first. Africa first. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on videos that I upload on this YouTube channel. I am here to address a matter that has affected a lot of us Africans, and to see that certain government ministers acting against this action is shocking. For the past few weeks, we have seen how the world has been affected by the pandemic, which is the coronavirus. Many people have lost their lives, and we continue to fight this race against the coronavirus. Even as we wait for the vaccines and medication that can cure the virus, we are still living in fear and doubt of whether this will happen or not. And then we've seen videos that have shown how the Chinese have discriminated against Africans. And we as vloggers, YouTubers, bloggers all over the world talked about this because we didn't expect that any person would discriminate against black people just because of the color of their skin. I have shared videos on my YouTube channel, talked about how the governments have worked hand in hand with the Chinese, and the Chinese continue to work in our countries and discriminate against our people. I have shared videos of Mao Sampa. I have shared videos of Maus Sampa, who is the Lusaka mayor of Zambia, and how he went in peace to the Chinese restaurants, barber shop, and the cement plant to close them down or to tell them to stop abusing their workers. Now, you would expect that our governments would work hand in hand with those that are fighting against discrimination against black people or Africans. But no, that is not the case. I came across a disturbing video of a minister, local government minister of Zambia, Charles Banda, who has spoken against the actions of Mao Sampa. And I'm in shock. How can this be possible? If we are a country that fights against discrimination, that fought for our freedom, why are you against the actions of a mayor that simply acted on behalf of the citizens of Zambia? Before I go any further, watch this video.
Revoke a license. There's also a procedure that is followed. It's not done at the spark of the moment, and we have got officials who are designated to do that through the town clerks and the relevant directorates who are in charge of licensing. What we have seen in the recent past by some of our officials who have unilaterally gone to business places and declared that they have closed those businesses, they have withdrawn licenses and so forth and so on. That is a very regrettable situation, which I want to say here must never be repeated. And I'm sending this message to all my councils, 116 councils in this country, that we must be orderly
You've heard for yourself in that video. That's the local government minister of Zambia, talking against Mao Sampa and Bowman Lusambo's actions. I thought it would end there, but even the president of the Republic of Zambia, during the greeting of the red carpet that they normally do, he ignored Bowman Lusambo and Mao Sampa. Here is the video. Watch this.
In this video, you can clearly see the president of Zambia ignoring Bowman Lusambo. He did not even acknowledge him. There is Bowman Lusambo in the suit. And I believe Mao Sampa was also ignored. This is what is going on now. Why is Bowman Lusambo being ignored and Mao Sampa? Is it because they are working against the Chinese? Is the president under pressure because the Chinese are not happy that their restaurants have been closed and the barber shop and other businesses that have been attended to, and because Bowman Lusambo threatened to deport the Chinese restaurant owner? Just check this out.
I thought it would end there, but just see how the president ignored Bowman Lusambo. Why? Because he has threatened to deport the Chinese man that was discriminating against Zambians from eating in their restaurant, Mr. Tan. We don't even know whether Zambia is truly a Chinese colony. In fact, it has been suspected. But now, this is evidence that why would ministers be against what is happening in Zambia? Is Mao Sampa an enemy? It is very clear that indeed he is an enemy, because the actions of Charles Banda addressing this matter on national television is evidence that the Chinese have put pressure on these people. What sort of pressure can the Chinese put on the government ministers if they are not on payroll? Whatever it is, we now know that they are indeed on Chinese payroll. Why would a government minister address this matter and even air this on national television? What is the essence of this? Is this to put Mao Sampa in a place that everybody should be against him? And yet what he did was to protect the citizens of Zambia. And we have seen the president of Zambia ignore Bowman Lusambo and Mao Sampa. Is he angry because of the way they have acted? I thought they were using their power to protect the citizens of Zambia. You have just seen the video of the president of Zambia and how he has ignored Mao Sampa. Wasn't the mayor of Lusaka doing his job by shutting down a restaurant that didn't even have a license to operate, that didn't even have a fire certificate, and was discriminating against Zambian people because they are black? And yet the president even ignored him during the greeting, as you have seen on the red carpet. The same applies to the barber shop. The barber shop was discriminating against black people. The same applies even to the barber shop, which was shut down by Mao Sampa, simply because they were discriminating against Zambians, black people to be specific. And the president ignored Mao Sampa. Why would the president be ignoring Mao Sampa if he was simply doing his job as the mayor of Lusaka? And the question remains, why hasn't the Republican president of Zambia, Edgar Chagwa Lungu, addressed this matter, the discrimination of Zambians by the Chinese? No, he hasn't. His focus was to allow Chinese restaurants and casinos to be open. He literally even had a public address, a conference. The president of Zambia addressed the nation stating that all restaurants and casinos would be open. I questioned the motive. I remember stating in one of my videos, it's linked down below, why would the president ask for casinos to be open? Until it came to my knowledge that 99% of casinos in Zambia are owned by the Chinese. And then it got me thinking, is the president of the Republic of Zambia worried about the welfare of Zambians, or is he worried about the Chinese making money in Zambia? If Zambians truly mean something to the president of Zambia, why would he allow casinos to open when no Zambian would even benefit from casinos? I mean, gambling What would anyone benefit from gambling when there is no even money? We don't even have a welfare state in Zambia that helps people who are vulnerable and poor. So why open the casinos? Who would be working there? Who would be benefiting? The Chinese. In this time of the pandemic, a lot of government officials have been exposed. Countries in Africa have been exposed. Our country, Zambia, has been exposed. The welfare of the citizens has never been put as priority, and the coronavirus has exposed this. The medical facilities in Africa are nothing to even admire. You cannot even admire most of the hospitals in Africa. I will talk about Zambia. The hospital in Zambia, you would wait for hours, the public hospitals. You would wait for hours. Sometimes there's no doctors. Sometimes there's no even medication. Sometimes you're told your appointment has been moved to another day. It's always moved to another day. In Zambia, you would even be lucky to be attended by a doctor on the very day of your appointment. It is high likely that your appointment will be moved. Most of our government officials in Africa fly abroad for their medical treatment. They've never prioritized the healthcare system of Africa, and the coronavirus has exposed this. We have seen a Nigerian chief of staff to Muhammad Buhari, Abba Kyari, dying because he could not be flown out of Nigeria due to lockdown regulations. We have seen loads of people being ill and they could not fly out because of lockdown. This is a time for a new Africa to rise and put the people of Africa first, put the nations of Africa first, and not thinking about how you as a leader will have money in Switzerland, will buy apartments in London, and put your children in very expensive schools and forgetting the reason why you were elected in position. The reason why you are put in power is because every African person is believing in you as a leader. They believe in you to make things change for the better. But when you come in power, you forget that you were put in power by the citizens of your country. You forget that the reason why you are there is to make sure the welfare of the citizens is paramount. But you don't do that. You think about how you will drive the latest vehicles and build shopping malls and buy houses and cars for yourselves. And some government ministers even have girlfriends and extramarital affairs and even have many wives. Their position is used to enrich themselves and to make their bellies fat. For how long will we say that Africa is poor, when we ourselves have the natural resources that can help us to be rich? For how long will Africans rely on the first world countries to give us vaccinations and medication for even HIV and AIDS? Till today, Zambia relies on donors to give the local Zambians HIV drugs. For how long will our nations be on loans when we have gold, copper? We have all the minerals that can make us billionaires as a nation and as nations. It is my plea that to everyone in office in Africa, think about the nation of your country. Think about the people of your country. We have seen disturbing images which the Western media portrays the African side of poverty. And this is what the world knows. Africa is poor. Do we expect the Western world to continue donating money for water when we have billions of dollars that is being passed around government ministers? Some places don't even have proper desks, proper roofs in schools. But meanwhile, the government ministers fly to Dubai for holidays and fly their girlfriends to Thailand to enjoy themselves. How selfish can our leaders continue to be? If truly you are a leader, think about the people of Africa. It is high time we changed our attitudes. And it is high time you employed more youths in your governments because they know what suffering is. It's high time we had less 65-year-old and 70-year-olds in parliament. We need more youthful minds. And I applaud Mao Sampa for his action because he has taken a bold step to close that restaurant. Even the Nigerian government did the same. They closed the restaurant for refusing to serve a Nigerian. So what is so different about Zambia doing that? Joyce Nonde, you should step down. Charles Banda, you should step down. And to you, the Republican President of Zambia, I know you mean well for the citizens of Zambia, but whoever advises you does not advise you well because they want you to continue to make the mistakes so that you should be dethroned next year. It is my advice to you to look carefully at who advises you. We are the people of Zambia. The youths of Zambia can tell you what we are going through. You may not know, you may not see because you are in the State House, which is a 27-bedroom mansion that Dr. Kenneth Kaunda built for you. It is high time you worked for the people of Zambia, not the Chinese, because Zambia is not a Chinese colony. And you will not put the legacy of Dr. Kenneth Kaunda down, all in the name of your own benefit. He fought for our freedom. He fought for our independence. It's because of him that we even sing Stand and Sing of Zambia, which is our national anthem. Why would Charles Banda come against the actions of Mao Sampa? Are our government ministers in Africa on payroll with the Chinese? We have heard rumors that they are on payroll. Some of them are paid huge amounts of even $350,000 just for the Chinese to maintain their residency in our countries. How far is this going with the Chinese? We have not declared anything negative, but we have simply asked for peace in our countries. We have simply asked for the Chinese to treat our fellow human beings better than they are. Why should Africans be in quarantine just because they are suspected to be coronavirus carriers? And yet the Chinese go to work and come back, go to their workplaces, go home without anybody disturbing them. We have seen videos on my YouTube channel of union leaders convincing the workers that they can stay in the mine plant because the Chinese want them to stay there. If a foreigner comes to our countries to invest, we have no problem with that. But the problem we have is our leaders coming against us instead of fighting with us the battle of discrimination and equality. If our government leaders can come against each other within their departments, what do we expect? Do we expect to have a peaceful country? No. We have seen videos of Kenyans who are not even allowed to rent properties from the Chinese because they are black. The Chinese have refused to rent the apartments to fellow Kenyans because they are not Chinese or white. For how long are we going to fight this battle as Africans, where we are treated in a discriminatory way? For how long are our government leaders going to, instead of fighting with us, they are rather against us? I'll read for you a message from a minister named Joyce. I will share the screenshot of this message at the end of the video. She asks a few questions. Was it okay for the mayor to stigmatize the Chinese team because coronavirus started from China? Minister, you are very down. You are very, very down because there is no way you cannot know that the coronavirus started in China, 1. 2, you have even heard it for yourself that the reason why the workers were left in that place, they are the ones who were even stigmatized by being put in that plant, those small cold rooms, stating that because of the coronavirus, which is in black people. So you are very wrong. She also adds, I like the part where the Chinaman still tried to reason with the mayor that the first cases in Zambia never came from China. Can you imagine that? This is supposed to be a labor minister. She is clearly on Chinese payroll. Definitely. Because listen to what she's saying. She's against a minister of Zambia. If you remember what Siawan stated, Siawan is a prophet who had given powers to these politicians in order for them to be in power. And he said there will be confusion among them. This is the confusion that we are seeing now. It has already begun. They are fighting against themselves. She states that she is happy that the mayor was asked as to the first question, the first case of the coronavirus in Zambia. It did not come from China. The coronavirus started in China. And the people who brought coronavirus into Zambia went to France on a holiday. And they caught it obviously there because the Chinese people are all over the world. They travel there on holidays during the Chinese New Year. They were obviously in France. Crazy, right? This is our labor minister. She further adds that, yes, COVID started from Wuhan, but was that in order? She's asking that question. Yes, it was in order. Because you, as a labor minister, it is your duty to protect the Zambian citizens. But because you do not care, you only care about your fat pocket and your fat belly. That is why you don't even care about the welfare of the Zambian citizens. What Mao Sampa did is a rightful thing that any minister of their right senses who is in position of power will do to protect the citizens of Zambia. In order for the Chinese to know that there is laws in Zambia that protect the Zambian citizens and not you questioning his ability to protect the Zambian citizens. Why are you even a labor minister, if I may ask? Who even gave you the position? Who gave you the position? And why do we have so many ministers? Lusaka minister, government minister, this is local government minister. We have over 20 ministers in Lusaka alone. For who? And yet there's so many youth in Zambia who are unemployed. And because of that, they have to even work for the Chinese for cheap labor. And you talk about how he is stigmatizing. These people are being paid peanuts in our country because it is your fault. You don't care. As a labor minister, what is your duty? What is your duty as a labor minister? You're supposed to make sure that these Chinese people give a minimum wage of at least even 2,500 kwacha per employee. At least more than $200. But because you don't care, you even fight against your fellow government worker. It is his office as a mayor of Lusaka to do what he wants to do and to revoke any license for anybody who mistreats our people. She further adds that is this plant the only company in Zambia where staff stay there in shifts without going home? Another dull question. Very dull. Because you know clearly that the reason why these people are kept here is because they are being discriminated against because the Chinese are saying they have coronavirus. And you ask such a stupid question. Who even gave you the position? Did you even go to school? Shocking. These are the ministers of Zambia that are fattening their families, fattening themselves, and don't care about the welfare of Zambians. Are you in your right senses for people to stay in that small cubit and you call it, is it the only company that allows people to stay at their shifts? Who stays at their shifts without being fed properly, without being given a proper toilet? This is the stupidity of our government leaders that we are having. Look at this woman. 2021, you must be out. Honestly, these people must be out. Okay. She further adds that if my mind saved me, well, hospitality industry is one of those where staff stay there at workplace for days, then go home on off days. You are such a liar. You are such a liar. I work in a care home and I don't sleep there. So many people work in hospitals, in hotels in Zambia. They don't sleep there. You are such a liar. A very big liar. She gives an example. If you go to Mufue in South Luangwa, most staff in lodges stay at work for 1 to 2 weeks in shifts. You've even said Mufue. How far is Mufue from Lusaka? Mufue is a place in a bush. What do you expect? And besides, it is part of their contract. They've agreed. And they alternate shifts. They don't stay there for 2 months and be told you can't go home until we tell you to go home. So you are such a liar. Also, the mining industry, the workers stay at work for days and later go home when off. That is a lie. I have family who work in the mines and they go home. How come First Quantum in Solwezi allows people to do their 8-hour shifts and go home? They alternate. Some start in the morning and some start in the afternoon. Every day they are working. You are such a liar. And you are a disgrace to the Zambian government. You are a disgrace even as a woman to talk like this. You don't even care. This is what we experience in our countries. Old people like her that will just talk whatever they want, talk diarrhea from their mouth because they don't care about the welfare of the Zambian people. We have seen how the Zambians have been mistreated and she doesn't even care. In Zambia, for example, we have the Labour Minister, Joyce Nonde. Joyce Nonde is one woman I don't even respect. Reason being that a few years ago, a lady named Mika Mwambazi did report a restaurant called Horseshoe that discriminated against its employees. And instead of this minister working with Mika Mwambazi, who is a fellow woman, this minister rather threatened Mika to jail. And again, I am told that this minister is now the Labour Minister. In checking all the details online, I have discovered that indeed she is the Labour Minister in Zambia. Now the question is, if she is a Labour Minister, what is her duty in Zambia? Isn't she supposed to be protecting the citizens of Zambia against labor work, against negative forces that treat Zambians in a derogatory manner? The discrimination of Zambians as employees of the Chinese companies or even other foreign businesses, it is her duty to make sure that our people in Zambia are protected against discrimination and they are given a minimum wage. Till today, Zambians don't even have a minimum wage. The foreign investors can pay Zambians any amount of money as long as it suits them. I have been told, even by whistleblowers, that some Zambians are paid up to even 600 kwacha, which is about $30 a month, for businesses that make billions of dollars. What is her duty as a Labour Minister? Because if she is a Labour Minister, her worry should be that the people of Zambia are able to get good salaries in order for them to sustain their families. And then these Chinese companies, what type of taxes do they even pay, if we ask? Because most of these companies don't even have shareholders as Zambians. They are 100% owned by foreign investors. And yet in China, an African or any foreign business owner cannot own a business at 100% share, but you have to share 50-50 with the Chinese. Why can't our African leaders copy from what even the Chinese themselves do in their countries? In Zambia, we even have Bank of China. And I've said this several times, that until Bank of China closes, I will never rest talking about this matter, because it is not fair that we have Bank of China. Now here is a message on a WhatsApp group that has leaked on social media by the Labour Minister talking against Mouse Sampa. The message says, I have watched this video of Mouse Sampa at a named Chinese plant where staff Zambians stay for 2 weeks without going home. Everything about the visit was okay, but I have a few questions. This is a Labour Minister that is supposed to work hand in hand with Mouse Sampa, but listen to what she is saying. Now the question for every Zambian citizen right now is, what is the Republican president of Zambia saying about the mistreatment of Zambians by the Chinese? I have more whistleblowers that have given me information about how they are being mistreated by the Chinese. Further disclosures from different companies have come forth, and I will be doing separate videos about that. Another Chinese mining company in Zambia is doing the same as NFCA. For how long will the Zambian citizens be treated like this? And where is the mining minister, Mr. Musukwa, in all these happenings? We have not heard a speech from him. We have not heard a word from him. We have not heard even from the president of Zambia. The president of Zambia made a speech on pre-Labor Day. And I believe the reason for this speech was because of 3 Chinese people that were killed by Zambians. And the CCTV footage is there. We are not here to say that it is okay to be violent against the Chinese, but it is okay to put them in their place by saying, treat our people right. After all, the government itself does not even have opportunities for people to work. They don't even have a plan for Zambian citizens. So we rely on foreign investors to offer us jobs in Zambia. But if our government had a plan for the people of Zambia, they wouldn't be selling the mines to foreign investors, but they would rather be keeping those mines in order to fulfill the needs of the Zambian citizens. They would rather even form businesses and industries that will help Zambians. We have heard and seen documents released of how even some companies are under some government officials, and then they lie that they are under a certain individual, but they are. What we would want to see as Africans is that our leaders pay much attention in protecting our natural resources. Pay much attention in looking after the people of our countries, because the future of our African countries lies in us. It lies in the future leaders. It lies in our future generation. But if all our natural resources are destroyed or are given away, our land is given away to foreign investors, what then will our people have in the future? Yes, it may look like today is a time when we need these type of investments, but tomorrow our future generation will suffer. I will now leave you with a video from the late President Michael Chilufya-Sata that stated that the reason why certain investors were coming to Zambia was not to abuse workers, but to offer them opportunities, and he would not accept such happening in Zambia. The reason why I am adding this video is because he is the founding member, one of the founding members of the Patriotic Front, which is the current government party. And they are not living by the expectations of the late president, meaning they are trying to live against what he had said. And also, my question lies in who is in charge of our country? Is our president in charge of the country? Or is there somebody that is ruling our country and giving him ideas of what to do in Zambia? Because he has not spoken a word against what is going on in Zambia. How can a leader be so silent about the gravity of discrimination that is taking place in Zambia? What type of a leader is he that he does not even make any statement about what is happening in Zambia? I didn't want to be upset in this video or say things in the way I would normally say it. I wanted to be cool and calm so that the message can get there in peace. Because we're not here to cause commotion, but we're here to tell the government of our African countries that we are not happy. And particularly Zambia, I am not happy with what is taking place. If we have a person like Charles Banda and Joyce Nonde, who are clearly speaking against the actions of Mao Sampa, then I don't know where we are going as a country, Zambia. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Until next time, I will be showing you a video revealing more details of how the Chinese are discriminating against Zambians in another mining company. Take care.
It's not across party levels. It's for the people of Zambia to be free. We fought for freedom. But if it is the freedom we fought for, I would have not gone to prison in 1960. Thank you very much.
President Sata, in winding up this program, some people say you have no diplomacy. You like to just hit the nail on the head, and you know that way you scare off people, or you just put them off. What is your reaction to that?
I don't scare Zambians. I speak for the Zambians. Zambia is for the Zambians to enjoy, not for foreigners. So what's the diplomacy to say Chinese have invaded Zambia? What's the diplomacy to say New Deal Indians have taken Kamwaran Town Center? Is there any need to be diplomacy? Is there any two ways in which you can say it? Those shops are supposed to go to Zambians. God has stopped distributing land. God has stopped creating countries, and we must look after our own country, Zambia, which God gave to us. We didn't buy, he gave it to us. And if God gave it to us, why should one child be sleeping in a furrow? Go to that Manda Hill Junction. Children are sleeping under. Now, when the rains have come, is that the way where you say that is that type of a country you would like to live in? Others are going in posh cars which they haven't paid with their own money, posh cars which they have used taxpayers' money. Let's give equality to Zambians. We are not going to say every Zambian is going to be a billionaire, but give them what they are worth. That's why I build Kajema houses. That's why I build Mezaf. That's why I improved Chawama and the World Bank. That's why I improved Kalingalinga, Kaunda Square Stage 1 and 2. That's why I build bank houses. And when I build bank houses, I knew I was not going to be governor forever. I sold to the occupants of bank houses. If I would have not sold them those houses, I think they would have been kicked out of those houses. Thank you very much.
If you died today, how would you like the Zambian people to remember
Zambians to remember me that I spoke for the people of Zambia. I have a talanta kwa libolwimbo. Chila muntu ne talanta yakwe. Italanta kulandira kwa balanda. Kulandira kwa watu wako atotulimba. Kulandira kwa bantu abamwensonga iwe. Bonse mwe basambirira muri bamwenso sana. You are the worst cowards. All educated people, you can't speak out because you are scared of going to prison. All educated people are the worst cowards.
Well, that's his opinion, which must be respected. President Sata, I would like to thank you so much for coming on to the program, and I wish you all the very best in your endeavors, and I wish your party as well all the best.
Thank you.
We've been talking to President Michael Sata, Patriotic Front President, on the program. Join us next week at the same time.
Where's my CD?
You've been listening to Face the Media phone-in radio program, which subjects policymakers and other newsmakers to close scrutiny by the moderator and the public.
Thanks for watching my YouTube channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button, and follow me on all social media platforms. It's simply at lilymutamztv.